From Steve Slayton to Pat White to Pat McAfee, they love their Mountaineers in Morgantown. And in a place known for yan dogs and pepperoni rolls, probably some liquid refreshments, the Mountaineer faithful ready to go here in Morgantown. A couple of teams trying to stake their claim to being among the best in the country in this top 25 showdown we have in store. As we'll see, the number 25 team in the country, the Penn State Nittany Lions, taking on the winners of 4 straight, the West Virginia Mountaineers. For EA Sports College Football, I'm Reese Davis, joined here in the booth. The Nittany Lions will kick it off to get us underway. On the move from inside his 5. Didn't find any crease in that kickoff coverage, and he'll be stopped at the 17. So the West Virginia Mountaineers offense will start this game off. Here he comes, and any time this guy touches the ball, and he will touch it plenty, a bolt of electricity just goes through the stadium, David.
And they'll feature him. They'll give him the ball, like you said, a lot, early, often. And he's a guy that can make game-breaking plays. The offense is built around his ability to run the football, Jesse, make big plays for this offense.
Yeah, he really shoulders the load, right, in more ways than one.
He's loose. He's at the 40. Running inside the 20. And he'll take it in. They couldn't get him on the ground. Touchdown, Mountaineers.
And these offensive coordinators tell you they want to start fast and they want to establish the run game. That is exactly what you did. First drive, you hand the football off, making the big explosive run, setting the tone for this football game.
Now they'll line up for what they hope is automatic. And the PAT makes it 7-0. That drive took no time at all. A couple of plays and finished it with the long run for the touchdown. Kickoff team is on the field. They'll try to drive this one deep. And it'll come out to the 25. No attempt at a return. So the Penn State Nittany Lions offense will go to work for the first time today. When a guy gets off the ball as quickly as he does, you know he's going to be breathing down your neck, and you got to get rid of it, Jesse.
This quarterback's good, but he better have a clock going off in his head. He knows he's not going to have a lot of time to get rid of the football. That's a big matchup in this game.
Well, and that's what I love about this guy, because he affects the quarterback whether he gets to him or not. He knows he's there. He's that kind of good coming off the edge. Let's see how this QB performs under pressure.
They make the stop, but not before he takes a chunk out of what they need to move the sticks. From the gun, wants to pass. And the ball comes out. What a disastrous play. Defense just cradling that fumble and securing it.
You know, as quarterbacks, you've got to be good in the pocket. Even when things are collapsing and you've got guys swiping at it, you've got to have 2 hands on the football. Didn't do a really good job with ball security there, and that led to the fumble.
West Virginia has it, and the offense ready to go to work. Jesse, a very productive drive last time, wound up with a touchdown.
Yeah, mixing and matching play calling really well. Nice balance on that last one, Dave. Let's see what they can do here in this next drive.
Yeah, and I don't expect anything different. When you put together a drive like that, I would do more of the same. Keep the pace, keep it going.
Fast motion from the offense. Makes the grab. And he will score! Touchdown, West Virginia!
Well, this offense is top 10 in the country in points per game because they've got a lot of speed and they've got home run hitters. They scored fast. They don't need 10 plays to go down the field. You saw it right there. They've recruited well. They've got playmakers. They're going to be a problem for defenses all year long.
PAT unit on the field. And the extra point pushes the lead to 14. They didn't have a whole lot of real estate in front of them when they took over possession, but they wasted no time. Couple of plays into the end zone. And he passes on the touchback. Here he comes. Not nearly as much as he'd hoped when he brought it out of the end zone. He'll be stopped at the 15. The Nittany Lions going back to work on offense now. From the gun, the running back has it. Works his way ahead for 3. They'll spot it at the 18. To say this has been a slow start is a bit of an understatement, and they really need to get it going here, Jesse.
That's right. The opponent, they're firing on all cylinders right out of the gate. Offensively, for this unit, they've been slow and struggling. They need an explosive play to wake themselves up.
Yeah, and it's just the first quarter, so it's not the end of the world. You've seen slow starts, but you got to continue to pick and pick and pick until you find that play or that scheme that you can use against this defense.
The Nittany Lions have it with a 1st and 10. Use the play fake, now to throw. Pressure's there and he gets rid of it. Couldn't find anybody to throw to. He'll just toss it away. It'll be 2nd down. Couldn't make the connection last time. Let's see if they throw it again. Surges across the 30, out to the 32, a 6-yard run. Faced with a 3rd and short from their own 32 to keep this drive alive. From the gun, wants to pass. Didn't have much of a choice, just had to throw that one away. It'll be 4th down. The Nittany Lions will punt this one away. Getting our first look of the afternoon at the punter. He'll settle for some pretty good field position and make the fair catch at around the 35. West Virginia has it back, ready to dive into that playbook. And David, how they would love to stick it in the end zone one more time after that last drive.
And once you get the defense on their heels and you back them off a little bit, you get in a little bit of rhythm, it's really hard to stop, Jesse, and they're going to try to do it again right here.
And if you're this play caller, you're loving what's happening right now because everything you dialed up on that last drive ended up working out. You're just looking at your play sheet. Everything you're picking is working. Let's see if they can pull it off again here.
He'll come out throwing on 1st down. Fires to the big fella. That's a really good tackle there, giving up some size and still making the play. Trying to convert this 2nd and short. Off the play fake. Caught in the backfield, it's Little. And the Mountaineers are stopped, but not before getting it past the sticks. It's 1st and 10 from the 31. It's a draw. He's knocked down in the backfield. He'll lose a couple. This offense has a 2nd down play. He's looking to throw. Catch in the middle. It's Amaro. They're able to get him stopped just shy of the 1st down marker. Here they come up to the 23-yard line, not thinking field goal, wanting to convert this 3rd and short. And they make the tackle, but he has plenty for the 1st down. The Mountaineers are in the red zone. Trying to cap this drive with the pass. Finds his man. It's Little. Oh, it's out. The defense scoops it up, and they're bringing it back.
And that's a huge play by the defense. Great job and great effort getting to the ball carrier and swatting at the football, knocking it out, and then falling on it for a massive fumble recovery.
Penn State sends the offense back onto the field. That last drive fizzled out, Jesse. They had to punt it.
Yeah, they did. And, David, they're just going to have to do a better job this time around erasing the mental mistakes.
And just trying to solve the defensive riddle, understanding what they're trying to do to you and attack them.
Out of the gun to give to the back. Solid gain to get them out close to the 20. Pick up a 5 to the 19. Then just inside their own 20, they need to convert on 3rd and short. Makes the grab over the middle. They'll pick up the 1st down as he gets it out to the 27-yard line. And now a fresh set of downs for this offense. From the gun, they'll try to impose their running game. And he's a real nowhere man tackled in this no-gain land. On 2nd down, they'll take to the air. Got a man. It's Payne. They stop him almost immediately. Short gain there, and still a little ground to cover to pick up the first. On third down, he'll try to pick it up through the air. That pass not close as he got drilled trying to deliver it, and it'll bring up fourth down.
Well, what that punt lacked in height, it made up for by being short.
Good job by the coverage team, and that's how we'll end the period. Guys, that's the end of the quarter, and West Virginia has the lead. Really strong performance so far to be able to build a lead here in the first period as we look at the stats. Now to see if they can answer this early blitz here in the second quarter. West Virginia has it and the offense ready to go to work. That fumble in plus territory just ruined that last drive, David.
Yeah, and those are frustrating when you got the offense moving a little bit and you put that thing on the deck, Jesse. But move on, reload, forget about it.
At the end of the day, it's just fundamental football, right? They practice it all week. 5 points of pressure. Every ball carrier has to have it. They just got to do a better job moving forward.
Able to pick his way forward for a decent game before the defense gets him down. They'll try to get it through the air. They're trying to get to it. He's going to run it. Putting together a real scoring threat here as they pick up the first down at the 36. And the Mountaineers come to the line with a new set of downs. Throws for the tight end. Oh, picked off. And he's wrapped up after a solid return on the pick.
It's all about making plays, and this guy's been waiting to make his mark on this team. He gets his first interception of the season, and what a momentum-changing play for his team.
The Nittany Lions going back to work on offense now. The lead's not insurmountable, just down 14-0. But, David, you don't score here, and it could get a little tricky fast.
If you don't score here, if you don't possess the football and put something together to give your defense a little bit of a blow, it's not the ideal start. But it ain't like this game's late in the football game. Create some momentum here in the second quarter.
Yeah, momentum's a real thing in college football. This team needs the juju to get going. That first quarter is one they'd love to forget. So find your best playmakers now. Get them isolated. Get them the football and let them go to work.
Third and short from the 44, and we might know if they plan to go for it on fourth down by what they call here. Quick toss. At the 45, on his way. And a big play there on the option. The pitch was executed perfectly. And the Nittany Lions want to pick up the tempo.
Third down and 2, you know it's time to get physical, and this unit paves the way, Jesse, and gets the big first down.
And this back's got such a burst, too, doesn't he? As soon as he saw the hole, he exploded through it and picked up a huge chunk of yards.
They get him stopped after a pickup of 5 to the 28. Halfway there on first down and 2nd and 5. This is the kind of game, a top 25 matchup in the early season, that you look for when you're trying to build your resume.
Yeah, these are so fun because as a player you kind of get bored if you don't get challenged, but when you got an early season challenge like this, all the adrenaline, all the juice, Palmer, you're ready to rock and roll.
I love this. We've had this game circled for a long time because we learn a lot in these types of games. What are these teams about? Which conferences are better? You're going to get a lot of answers today.
They make the tackle, but he's got a fresh set of downs, and it's 1st and goal from the 7. The Nittany Lions are on the move. Got his man on the right. He's brought down, but there's a flag on the field. Let's see what the call is. So the decision has been made, and the coach will take the penalty. The Nittany Lions trying to get a touchdown on 1st and goal. Give to the back. Able to get a couple on the play. He's down at the 9. Defense rose up deep in its own end on that last play. Now a 2nd and long coming. The run up the middle here, looking for a path to the end zone. And he rolls into the house. Touchdown, Nittany Lions! Some much-needed life from this offense as they try to cut away at this lead.
No doubt. Needed something to go right. You're down. You got to make plays. You got to get your team back in it. Great start. Keep chipping away.
Ready to try the point after. And after the extra point, they've cut the lead in half, down 14-7. And let's check in with Kevin Connors in the studio. Kevin?
All right, guys, a little update on what else is happening in college football this weekend. Oklahoma State will need to mount a comeback, but those fans that were there when Justin Blackmon was a two-time All-American, they know this game is not over. It's a touchdown game. They're trailing by 7 to UNLV. We'll circle back if anything big happens in this college football matchup.
Oh, and how about that? I know Kevin and those guys will be keeping an eye on it for us. He's looking to throw it. He looks that one in nicely. Oh, it's out. Defense swarming on that loose ball. It'll be a turnover.
Now, this is a receiving group that practices making catches in traffic, and they're used to having guys trying to rip it free. He's got to do a better job of keeping 5 points of pressure after he makes the catch. That's a costly giveaway.
Penn State sends the offense back onto the field. You want to talk about a drive where you impose your will? That's what they did, running it down for a touchdown, David.
There is nothing more demoralizing than that for a defense, to be physically pounded. The run is coming. You know it's coming, and you can't stop it.
Nothing the defense can do. That is mano-a-mano up front.
And they got him for the sack. Got to get to the line quickly for this third down play. From the gun, wants to pass. He's got it. There's a timeout called as this offense tries to find a way to draw a little closer. He's going to pass. Makes the grab. It's Church. Clock's running, and they'll try to get to the line warp speed for second down. He's looking to throw. Makes the grab. And he'll take it in and house it. Touchdown, Penn State!
Yeah, and the passing game comes through, man, and we need more of that in the second half. An extra point away from tying this football game. You trailed a little bit in the first half, stayed calm. If this passing game can continue to heat up, look out in the second half.
They'll try to tack one more on their score. Splits the uprights. A very efficient 5-play scoring drive. And they finish with a big play, a touchdown strike from the 46. And he hauls it in, and everybody's on the edge of their seats. Nice job by the kickoff team. Everybody stayed in their lanes, and they'll stop him at the 16. West Virginia has it back, ready to dive into that playbook. That last fumble proved to be costly as they cashed it in. Fires into traffic, intercepted. They didn't give him much of a chance to make that play even bigger, but the turnover has him set up at the 16.
Tell you what, when you come out of your own end zone, you know, in the shadow of your own end zone, a lot of bad things can happen. You want to kind of get a few first downs, get some space, so if you punt after that point, you can pin them a little bit deep. This is the exact opposite of what happened. Now you set them up in beautiful scoring field position already. Really bad play by the offense.
Trying to start the drive with a pass. Working the middle of the field, and it's complete. How about this backer in pass coverage and bringing the big hit stick with him, too. Looking to throw on second down. And it's caught! Touchdown, Nittany Lions!
And I just love the execution by this offense. Late in the half, man, you want to take the lead. You want to get that momentum on your side, and they do it. They finish it with the passing game. And I'll tell you what, heat that passing game up. You can keep this lead, keep the momentum, and keep putting up numbers.
Lining up to tack one more onto that lead. And with the extra point, the score is now 21-14. They got the ball in great field position, and bam, bam, 2 plays and into the end zone. He'll take the return and try to improve the field position. He was hoping for something a little more dynamic, but they get him on the ground at the 20. West Virginia has it in the offense ready to go to work. This late in the half, you're behind. You'd love to create something before the break to build momentum, Jesse.
You've also had some miscues on offense, a big part of why you're losing the game right now. I'd take it into halftime, make my adjustments, and come out ready in the second half.
Yeah, I'm going to take it into halftime too, Paul. But I'm trying to put some points up right here. Be aggressive, set the tone, be like, hey, listen, this is what you're going to get in the second half, so find something really quick that you can go to.
We played 2 quarters here. Time to go to Kevin Connors in our halftime update.
All right, fellas, the end of a very intriguing first 2 quarters of football in Morgantown. And we've got to start our halftime breakdown with this superstar running back. His elusiveness, his raw power. This young man is the total package. And his ability to catch the ball out of the backfield is a differentiator. A lot of guys can hit the hole. This kid can hit the hole and hit the home run in the passing game. With that said, let's send it back to the guys at Mountaineer Field.
The Mountaineers will boot it away to start the second half. And it'll be a touchback. The ball will come out to the 25-yard line. The Nittany Lions going back to work on offense now. They go to work in the third quarter with the lead, but they have had a little trouble keeping their quarterback upright.
Yeah, and you have the lead, you're positive, but the offensive line coach is definitely going to be upset. And the offensive coordinator, listen, I don't want my guy getting touched. He's being productive, but give him some more time here in the second half.
I think you can do that, too, offensively, by maybe leaving your tight end in to help block, maybe chipping with running backs to help these tackles out on the edge, because you're right. That pocket has been shaky. If it continues to be that way in the second half, this could be a much different-looking football.
Give to the running back. Showing off the arm. And he'll make his way out of bounds after the solid pickup. They'll snap it from the 48 on 3rd and short. From the gun, wants to pass. He's got an open man. And he got away from the defense and takes it in. Touchdown, Penn State! That's his 3rd touchdown pass of the day. The defense has no clue how to respond right now.
No, and the defense has had absolutely no answer. He's been on the money. He's been on fire, making the right decisions and just carving this defense up.
They'll try to add another to their lead. And the extra point is good for a 28-14 lead. Quick work on that scoring drive, just 4 plays. And the capper coming on that 48-yard touchdown dart. Draw him inside the 10. Here he comes. Couldn't find a way to create that broken field as he stopped at the 25. West Virginia has it back, ready to dive into that playbook. This is when the pressure can ramp up a little bit on an offense, David, when they start feeling the heat to answer a score.
And I think being down 14, you can kind of feel that way. But, dude, if you put a good drive together, this is a 7-point game, so Palmer, no need to panic.
I was just going to say, David, I mean, this thing can flip quick. You go down, score, all of a sudden your defense gets a stop, or who knows, better yet, gets a turnover. This game is entirely different.
On second down, wants to throw. Going up top. Nice defensive play to get a hand in there and knock it away. And this offense can ill afford to come up empty on this drive, already trailing by multiple possessions. Can't make the connection on 3rd down thanks to that tough, hard-nosed pass defense, and now it's 4th down. The kick is high and away and headed toward the sideline. The punt goes out of bounds, and a nice job to get them backed up. I think they'll spot it right around the 15. Penn State sends the offense back onto the field. Hand off from the shotgun. Open space at the 25. That's a nice pickup to give them some breathing room, and they've got it out to the 27. He'll pull it on the read. You'll take 4 yards on 1st down every time, 2nd and 6. He's looking to throw. Quickly to the tight end. And that was some kind of collision between a couple of big bodies there, and he stopped from getting the 1st down. They'll throw on 3rd and short. Got it set up on the outside. And they knocked him down, but he got past the line to gain. The Nittany Lions look to keep this drive humming. Running back goes in motion. Quarterback quick pass to the receiver. And he has a solid gain before the defense bottles him up. Solid pickup of 4 on 1st down and 2nd and 6. Quarterback on the keeper. And he won't quite get there, but boy, after that pickup, just a few inches to go for the first. An array of possibilities here. They'll run play action. Going downfield for the big play. And it slips through his fingers, incomplete. That would have been a huge gain if he could have held on. 4th down, and the punt team sends it the other way. Not going to risk a return here. He'll make the fair catch. West Virginia has it, and the offense ready to go to work. David, the punter got some work last time. They'd like to keep him on the sidelines in this drive.
Yeah, it's not something you want to say very often. You don't want the punter out there. This offense needs to get back lathered up and get a little bit more of a rhythm.
Best way to do that, identify where your best players are and just get them the football. Give these guys some touches to kickstart this offense.
And he'll be brought down. So what do they have for 3rd and short from their own 23? They'll try to run for it. That just never had a chance as they controlled the middle of the field and stopped him in the backfield on 3rd down. 4th down, and the punt team sends it the other way. And good work by the coverage team to get the return man down on the ground. 1st down here for the offense. On the run, it's Payne. Good job running tough and behind his pads as he gets up to the 38-yard line. Got 6 on 1st down. Now a lot of options on 2nd and 4. Now the play fake. Finds his big tight end. The Nittany Lions get enough for the 1st down. Here's this offense with a fresh set of downs. Trying to find his man on 1st down. Wide open downfield. He's run out of bounds, but a big play on that one, and it'll be a 1st down. And the Nittany Lions in the hurry-up. Wants to throw on 1st down. Excellent coverage and good use of the hands to knock it away. After the incompletion, looking at 2nd down. He's looking to throw. And it'll be incomplete. This defense is physical in pass deep. They line up with some serious work to do if they want to convert this one. 3rd and long, and he'll try to throw for it. Always a welcome play from the defense as they get a sack at the 47.
Pretty nice as a defense, right? When you can go nickel, put 5 DBs on the field and not have to blitz anyone, trusting your front 4 to get the job done on 3rd down, and they do it right there, getting the sack.
The Nittany Lions will send out the punt unit. He's getting a lot of work. 4th time he's punted tonight. And they'll let that one go, and it'll roll out of bounds. West Virginia has it back, ready to dive into that playbook. Last time, David, it was 1-2-3 kick.
Yeah, last drive, that 3 and out, sometimes that puts your defense in a bad spot, and you got to get a drive together here so you don't wear the defense out.
I just think, David, too predictable that last drive. They got to do something here to get this defense on their heels.
They say you could call holding on every play. Well, they did on that one. Coming out on 1st down with the play fake. Pocket starts to collapse. And he is snowed under. Sacked at the 7.
They tried to go play action, but that did not affect the defensive tackle. He was bull rushing his guy, collapsing the pocket, and he comes away with the sack.
As they get set to snap it, just about to reach the end of the quarter. Looking to pass on 2nd down. He's got him wide open. And he breaks into the open. Running in inside the 20. And he slipped through the crowd, and he'll house it. Touchdown, Mountaineers.
And I love the play call. Oftentimes offensively, you like to throw the football deep down in your own end and take shots because you're anticipating man coverage. So if you get a receiver that can get behind the defense, that has a chance to be a home run type play. And you saw it work out exactly that way right there.
Getting set for the point after. And the PAT will draw them 1 point closer. We've come to the end of the quarter, and it's Penn State on top. Let's take a quick look at the national rankings to see how this playoff race is shaping up. When you're dealing with a deficit like this, it's all about somebody stepping up to make a play, and you might as well start here in the fourth quarter. He'll start the return inside his 5. Really disciplined job by the coverage unit to get down there and make the stop at the 19. The Nittany Lions going back to work on offense now. From the gun, they'll try to impose their will. And they picked up 9 on first down. It'll bring up second and short now. Takes the handoff. It's Payne. Slammed to the ground, but not before he gets the first down. Now from the 36-yard line, it's 1st and 10. Got his man downfield. And he's running in the open. Touchdown, Nittany Lions! And once he found some daylight, it was time to make a house call. As they push that lead out, a really good opportunity to get back in the win column.
You know, quarterbacks and receivers, they develop confidence and chemistry as the game goes on. These two right now are definitely on the same page.
Lining up for the PAT. And the extra point is true, and they have a 2-touchdown lead, up 14 in the fourth. Let's go to the studio now and check in with Kevin Connors. Kevin, what do you got?
Week in and week out, guys, you never know what's going to happen in college football. Check this out. Oklahoma State is in front. They've led for most of the way. However, Pistol Pete isn't exactly putting this one in the win column just yet. They're up by 5 over UNLV. Just another week of college football where we've come to expect the unexpected, fellas.
And how about that one? Kevin will be keeping an eye on everything going on elsewhere. He's close to the first down, but they're going to mark him just a little short. Here they come, trying to convert a 3rd and short from the 28. They'll try to pick it up on the ground. And he's ridden to the ground, but there's also a flag down. Let's check the call. Holding penalties, the ultimate drive killer. We'll see if it costs this offense here. On 3rd and long, he has to throw for it. Oh, he's so hard to get on the ground. He's got room. Nifty little scamper on this one. Enough for the first down, and he slides in safely.
It's so frustrating as a defense because you got the offense in 3rd down. You're in a situation now where you can get off the field if somebody just makes a play, but you let the quarterback escape. And then beyond all that, you can't even get a good hit on him because he slides to protect himself.
Wants to fire on 2nd down. It's complete on the right side. They've got it to the 49-yard line, and they'll move the chains. And the Mountaineers want to crank the tempo.
This defense better not blink. I know they've got a lead here in the fourth quarter, but just look at who they're going against. This quarterback is one of the best in the nation. They cannot rest on their laurels. Someone's going to have to make a play.
Can't hang on, and he'll tell you he really should have made that catch, and he had an opportunity right in the middle. It'll be second down.
Well, here's the problem offensively. Because you're trailing by so much so late in the game, the defense now is going to be playing big zone coverages, and they're going to allow you to throw the ball underneath in the middle of the field, rally to make a tackle, and bleed the clock. It's going to be hard now for this offense to claw their...
And there was nowhere to go for this quarterback, and down he goes. Coach has no choice here. The offense has to stay on the field, down multiple possessions this late. Fourth down attempt coming. Can't find his man. It'll be incomplete, and that is a heartbreaker this late in the game. The receivers often will run their route based on a side adjustment. And I think they'll give him 2 on that one. 2nd and 8 coming up. Trying to pound it on first down, now back to the line. We've reached the 2-minute warning, and this offense will be quite content just to drain the rest of the time away. They'll run it to keep the clock moving. A solid pickup there before the defense is able to make the stop. Quick timeout called by the defense, stopping the clock to save as much time as possible for their offense. Bully ball on 3rd and short. Defense uses a timeout quickly, trying to get that ball back and preserve time for their offense. The Nittany Lions line up to punt it away. Wanted to make sure not to give them a chance for a return as it goes out of bounds. First down for this offense. He wants to throw. The freshman quarterback very fortunate for that one to fall incomplete. After the quarterback and receiver failed to hook up, they'll try it again on 2nd down. Grabbed in the middle. It's Amaro. And they'll get it to the 39-yard line, and they'll move the chain. Sprinting to the line to try to get this one off. Clock's running. Looking to move it through the air. Quickly out to the tight end. He knew exactly where he wanted to go with that one, and they've got enough for the first down. Clock winds down to 90 seconds to play. Looks as if they didn't get it off in time. It'll be a delay of game.
Delay of game. Offense.
So frustrating to see an offense lose track of the play clock and pick up a penalty like that. Here's the snap, ready to cut one loose. And the freshman will chalk up a sack. They'll try to kick it into overdrive. Clock's running, 2nd down coming. And they spike it and get the clock stopped. This is a 3rd and long. He's looking downfield to throw. With the catch, it's Amaro. And he's not going to make it. The defense denying him the first down. On 4th down, going to the air. It's incomplete, and they desperately needed to keep that drive going, and they couldn't make the connection. Quarterback will take a knee. The defense can stop it one more time, but we are close to being all she wrote. We sensed a great deal of confidence, almost a smugness from this coaching staff. And these guys on the field, it's as if they knew they were going to win.
Yeah, playing with a bit of a chip on their shoulder, and I think they really felt like they had a real good game plan offensively and defensively coming into this one, David. There were some matchups on the field they thought they could exploit. We saw that happen.
No doubt. Good job by this coaching staff, understanding who's out there to make plays, feeding them the football, offense, defense, special teams, all working together to get the done.
So that's going to do it for us. For Jesse Palmer, David Pollack, I'm Reese Davis saying so long. This has been another presentation of EA Sports College Football.